Today, we're not just talking about a great racehorse. No, we're talking about a true phenomenon, an icon who turned the sport of horse racing into pure, unadulterated theater. This is the story of Zenyatta, the queen.
You know, this one quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It was never just about being fast for her. It was about presence, about an aura. She owned the track before the race even started, and that's really where her story begins.
And that presence she had, it wasn't an accident. It was all built around this incredible pre-race ritual, a totally unique show of confidence that just captivated anyone who was lucky enough to see it.
So get this, while all the other horses are jumpy, nervous, and agitated, Zenyatta would break out into this slow, high-stepping prance, her signature dance. It wasn't nerves, it was pure swagger. She was owning the stage, feeling the ground beneath her, and letting everyone know that the show was about to start.
And what was so wild was the contrast. Before the gates flew open, she was this calm, gentle giant, almost playful. But the second that bell rang, she became a completely different animal, a ferocious, thunderous, absolutely unstoppable force. This duality is what got people completely hooked.
So this larger-than-life personality, it wasn't just for show. It translated directly into one of the most dominant winning streaks in the history of sports. But it was never just that she won. It was always about how she won.
19. Just let that number sink in. 19 straight victories to kick off her career. An undefeated streak that felt less like a statistic and more like, well, a law of nature. You just knew it was going to happen.
And to put that number into perspective, 13 of those 19 wins came in Grade 1 races. We're talking about the absolute highest level of the sport, the best of the best. She wasn't just winning, she was dominating the elite.
And the way she did it was pure theater. She would intentionally drop way back, sometimes to the very end of the pack. You'd be watching and thinking, there's no way, she's too far behind. The whole crowd would just hold its breath. And then she'd flip a switch and unleash this devastating freight train kick, swallowing up the entire field in just a few seconds. And that's exactly it. For the fans, you kind of knew the charge was coming. You expected she was going to win, but it never mattered. Watching it actually happen, it felt like witnessing a miracle every single time. Every race was a masterpiece.
But her career was more than just a string of incredible wins. It was all building towards one defining moment. One race that would test everything. The 2009 Breeders' Cup Classic.
This was the question on everybody's lips. A female horse, a mare, had never won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Ever. She was going up against the fastest, toughest male horses on the entire planet. Was her magic really strong enough to break through that barrier? The answer? A huge, resounding yes. She did it. And of course, she did it in her signature style, coming from dead last to win it all. She became the first and, to this day, the only female horse to ever conquer the Breeders' Cup Classic. It was a moment that went way beyond horse racing.
But you know, the greatest stories, they always have a final chapter you don't see coming. For Zenyatta, it came in her very last race. It was a moment of pure heartbreak that, weirdly enough, would only make her legend grow stronger.
So, the next year, she came back to defend her title in what would be her final race. The entire world was watching, expecting that perfect storybook ending. A flawless 20-for-20 career record. True immortality was right there for the taking. And she almost had it. She made that unbelievable last-to-first surge. But one horse, Blame, just wouldn't give in. She lost by a nose, the slimmest possible margin. You could have heard a pin drop in that stadium. The perfect ending was snatched away. So her final record stands, 20 starts, 19 wins. But that one second-place finish, it doesn't read like a failure at all. Instead, it became the ultimate proof of her incredible heart. Even in her only defeat, she was absolutely awe-inspiring. So when you look back, what's her real legacy? Well, it's so much more than a near-perfect record. It's about the massive impact she had on her sport and on every single person who watched her run. I mean, the official honors speak for themselves, right? Horse of the Year, champion older female 3 years in a row, and of course, a first ballot Hall of Famer. On paper, her greatness is undeniable. And of course, there are the earnings. Over $7.3 million. It's a staggering figure that just puts a number on how dominant she truly was. But her true legacy goes way beyond any trophy or dollar amount. She made the racetrack a destination. She brought mainstream attention to racing like few others ever have. People who had never watched a horse race in their lives tuned in just to see her. She didn't just have fans, she made believers.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. For those few incredible years, Zenyatta wasn't just a racehorse. She was an artist, a performer, a true force of nature who made the impossible look routine. She didn't just give us victories. She gave us a feeling that maybe, just maybe, magic was real, at least for the 2 minutes she was on the track.